Thank you very much. And I'd certainly like to thank Zee and all of her colleagues for organizing this great event and inviting me to come and speak. First, I'm going to be speaking. People who know Peter is really shy, so we decided that I would do the presentation today. First, the title that you see is the Transatlantic Research Cooperation between Ireland and Canada. And we'll be focusing a lot on the Celtic Explorer. I can't really presume to present on behalf of all the relationships between Ireland and Canada, and I certainly can't even presume to speak to the relationships between Newfoundland and Labrador and Canada, but I can speak very well to the relationships between our institution, the Marine Institute at Memorial, and our colleagues in Ireland. When I was considering the presentation, and I thought, well, how many relationships, how many engagements have there been? The Marine Institute, our Marine Institute, has been around for 51 years this year, and I did a quick scan back for about 10 years and quickly identified a not fully inclusive list of about 70 engagements. And here are some of the examples of those kinds of engagements. And we've been involved with colleagues in Ireland in many fashions, through collaborative research projects, through participation in various conferences, through joint course development, through exchange of students and researchers. And possibly I guess the next thing, well, who have we really been engaged with there? And there's a fairly long list as well of engagements between our institution and Memorial University and colleagues in Ireland. And you can see in this list a fairly a broad list all across different groups within Ireland. Probably one of the most prominent engagements, though, has been the work that we've been doing with our Irish colleagues in chartering the Celtic Explorer from the Marine Institute in Ireland. And this is something that we've been doing for about 5 years with support of the province of Newfoundland, the financial support from the province. We've been able to charter the Explorer and transit the North Atlantic twice a year, over and back, and undertake primarily an acoustic fisheries ecosystem survey offshore Newfoundland, the northeast coast off of southern Labrador, and the south coast of Newfoundland as well. And this, has really been focused on fisheries production and the ecosystem itself. And we're looking at species cod, capelin, redfish, and shrimp. And you can see here the track for 3 of those the transits. I'm having difficulty reading it all the way down there, so I'm going to refer back to my notes. Okay, yeah, so what we've been able to, what we recognize, though, is that having the opportunity of access to one of the most advanced research vessels in the world was a very good opportunity then to do more with that vessel than the acoustic surveys off of the east coast of Canada. So we engaged now for a number of years in a transatlantic research program. Our research scientists within our Center for Fisheries Ecosystems Research, in collaboration with partners at the Marine Institute in Ireland and Dublin City University, have undertaken a multi-year research program. And it's really looking at studying the bottom topography and looking at the biological characteristics of the North Atlantic. It's focused on also the deep scattering layer. And it's about, collection of high resolution oceanographic data. And it's just, studying all those linkages things like ocean currents and ocean eddies. It's observing winter and spring distribution of marine mammals and measuring things like waterborne plastics. So we've been having this research program ongoing now for a number of years. I'm just going to go back. So some of the main points that this research has shown is that the deep scattering layer is the largest biomass in the world's oceans. The density across the North Atlantic is the highest ever recorded worldwide. The deep scattering layer and the density is density dependent, and it's dependent upon oceanography, climate change, and or the climate and Gulf Stream and the Labrador Current dynamics. There's the potential for large northwest eddies for biophysical transport of organisms and northward and onto the Grand Banks. So what are some of the main points? The deep scattering layer is the largest biomass in the world's oceans. Lead on now to some of the outcomes of the research, the scholarly activity. The two research scientists, our lead research scientists, Dr. George Rose and Dr. Sheena Fennell, they've presented the results of the research to both national and international marine science conferences, and they're publishing a major paper this month on their work. So, concluding, the deep scattering layer spans the North Atlantic at varying densities and compositions. It's the highest density worldwide. The eddies act as buses moving ecosystems to the Northwest Atlantic and the Grand Banks, and that's under further investigation during the transit this year. The front line for this work is really the Flemish Cap, and what we are seeing and what we may see more of based on climate change is we're seeing more southern species moving north. So there, there's good and bad to that. Another ongoing initiative, not directly linked to the Celtic Explorer, but which supports really the spirit and intent of the Galway Statement. We have in Newfoundland an ocean observation system called Smart Bay, and similarly in Galway Bay in Ireland, an ocean observation system again called Smart Bay. On 26th of November last year, Peter and I signed an MOU linking those two ocean observation systems. And really, each of these systems represents, I guess, the shoulders of a North Atlantic ocean observation system, and we're really reaching out across the North Atlantic. It's a bridging structure. It captures the spirit and intent of the Galway Statement, and it really, we see it as an initiative that drives forward the blue economy. It renews and strengthens that transatlantic collaboration that we've been developing, and it strengthens that between ourselves, our industry partners, government departments and agencies, and certain NGOs as well. And it really sets a framework and a foundation for better understanding of the North Atlantic. So there are a number of now collaborative projects being developed between ourselves in Newfoundland and our colleagues in Ireland. Another initiative that we've been working with is the Irish, Newfoundland, and Labrador Research and Enterprise Collaboration Program. The objective of this program is really to, excuse me, it's really to action enterprise. It's to develop research collaborations between Ireland and Newfoundland and Labrador in the area of ocean technology. And the strategy is really to build an economic bridge between the two jurisdictions. You know, we have a strong shared research agenda, and through this have access to sectors through resident, you know, foreign direct investment. The area we're focused in is basic and applied research, and we have in a number of areas that are shown here. And the collaborators in this are certainly the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, our Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, our Ocean Technology Cluster, Oceans Advance, and ourselves, our Irish colleagues, certainly the Irish Marine Institute, Smart Bay, Ireland, Dublin City University, and other Irish institutions as well. Now, we have seen yesterday, we heard yesterday from Minister Coveney, and then a little later in the day from Tommy Fury and Stephen Locke and Terry Schaefer about an exciting initiative, the transatlantic seabed mapping. This came about as a bit of an epiphany that took place in Dublin City, or in Dublin Castle, during the seabed mapping workshop in December, when it was realized, hey, we've got one of the most advanced ocean research vessels in the world. It's transiting the North Atlantic repeatedly, funded through the charter from the Marine Institute in Newfoundland, just fitted with an advanced EM 302 a multi-beam system that can do an 8-kilometer wide swath across the North Atlantic. Why don't we use this vessel as a vessel of opportunity and start to do our mapping program? So that was that was the epiphany that we came to. The participants from Canada, the United States, and from the EU are participating now in that event, as you had heard yesterday, and we're very proud to be able to support and launch such an exciting initiative. We really see it as the beginning of a collaborative knowledge tool technology transfer process. I'm going to quickly go, only got about 2 minutes. We've got 1 minute. So we're also looking at a joint Newfoundland and Labrador fellowship program between ourselves and the Irish Marine Institute. I won't get into a long discussion on that. And we're also, you've heard also about Horizon 2020 yesterday when Kerry spoke about discardless and prime fish, which are interesting projects that, again, are part of our relationship with our Irish colleagues and broader European community. I'm going to try and finish off there now, and with my attempt at Irish, it's Go Ralmai Agath. Thank you very much.